Hey, good morning. I'm First Alert meteorologist Gary Bedenbaugh here with the 11 a.m. advisory here from the National Hurricane Center. Winds down to 155 miles per hour. Now a Category 4 hurricane here with Hurricane Dorian. The pressure up a bit, 922 millibars. It had to do this. There was an eye wall cycle, replacement cycle going on. It's still moving to the west, maybe a little bit of say north of due west movement now, looking at it as it was over here earlier today. So now a little bit of that northwestern movement, but still lavishing and really just destroying some parts of the Grand Bahama Island right now. And you can see about, say they've got it at 30 miles east and northeast of Freeport right now with the current position for the National Hurricane Center, and about 110 miles east of West Palm Beach. There is an extension of some hurricane watches I'll tell you about here in just a second, but also let's go through the latest forecast track here from the National Hurricane Center. Again, winds at 155 miles per hour. As of 8 p.m. this evening, expected to weaken just a bit to 150 by 8 o'clock and then make that all-important northerly turn overnight and into the early morning hours of Tuesday, still about east of West Palm. And then you can see Tuesday at 8 p.m., 130 miles per hour east of Cape Canaveral through the overnight Tuesday and into the early morning hours of Wednesday. The center still south of Jacksonville by that point. And you can see right here by Wednesday going through the day approaching Jacksonville, Jacksonville's latitude, maybe about 70 to 80 miles off the coast of Jacksonville right now. So not that much movement with the forecast track, maybe a slight nudge to the east, but that's it. Jacksonville and the coastline is still in that cone of concern here. And then it moves off to the north and east. You can see here going way off to the North Atlantic there, possibly impacting the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Here's the latest wind forecast for you, the wind timeline. You can see tropical storm force winds could start as early as Tuesday evening for Jacksonville, Jacksonville Beach. A little bit earlier Tuesday midday and into the afternoon for St. Augustine Beach. Slightly later than Jacksonville for Fernandina Beach, just a geography. And then Brunswick by early Wednesday morning and St. Simon's Island as well. So the winds will be increasing from south to north, and then potentially even some hurricane force wind gusts. We're forecasting gusts of hurricane strength from St. Augustine to St. Augustine Beach, Fernandina Beach, and Mayport and Jacksonville Beach. Not inland for Jacksonville, depending on how close Dorian actually goes. Here's what it looks like right now in 5-speed First Alert Doppler HD. These showers are not from Dorian here we're seeing today. There are rain bands approaching the southeast Florida coast now, and have already been through there from the outermost kind of moisture source around Dorian. That's what it looks like on the radar from Miami. You can see being able to pick up that eye wall right there at the moment. All right, so we are awaiting some of these watches and warnings to update graphically for you, but I can tell you the storm surge warning has been extended northward along and east of the east coast of Florida to the Flagler-Volusia County line, and that's this graphic right here. It'll be updating in a bit here in just a few seconds. The storm surge watch has been extended northward along the Georgia coast to the Savannah River. So if you joined us this morning, I told you southeast Georgia, you'd likely be involved with this, and you are now. You're under this kind of shading right here, a storm surge watch. We could see 4 to 6 footers, 4 to 6 feet of storm surge plus waves of 10 to 20 feet at times on Wednesday as this goes by. The hurricane warning also was along the east coast of Florida, has been extended northward to the Volusia County line. We've already talked about that. And the hurricane watch has now been extended northward to the Altamaha Sound in Georgia. So that includes our viewing area there. The hurricane watch now extended off to the north, and that's this graphic right here. It'll update here in a few minutes once it gets issued by the National Weather Service. So your First Alert weather app likely about to go off with a few more watches there for you in southeast Georgia, now under a hurricane watch extending northward to the Altamaha Sound. Okay, so let's go through some of the other graphics here for you, just to remind you again what the Hurricane Center is saying with this latest advisory. It hasn't changed that much for Jacksonville. Still to the east, about 70 to 75 miles, maybe even 80 miles east of Jacksonville Beach through the day on Wednesday. So a battering at our beaches is what we would be seeing with that. And we'll continue refining our forecast. Here's what you can expect for Dorian. Coastal wind of 40 to 60 miles per hour with gusts that are higher than that. That could be a hurricane force wind gust. At the coast, surge potentially 4 to 6 feet, as high as 6 feet, with waves and breakers of 15 to 20 plus feet. And then that wave overwash is something we'd have to consider with any of the breaks in the dunes or the dunes that aren't as strong as some of those that we've seen rebuilt in Duval County. Heavy showers and thunderstorms, 6 to 8 inches close to the immediate coast. But as you head west, that rain will gradually taper off, and we'll see not that much rain west of I-95. So this is what we expect right now. We're going to continue updating this as well. And really, we want you to be sheltered in place by about 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Tomorrow night is what we're telling folks now to be in your safe spot. If you're in especially one of those evacuation areas, if you're not leaving, we want you to be in place because that's when we could see the onset of tropical storm force winds is by the overnight hours, late night Tuesday and into the overnight hours from south to north. So again, this is what it looks like. The 11 a.m. advisory, winds down to 155 miles per hour, pressure up slightly to 922 millibars, and it's still moving to the west according to the National Hurricane Center at about 1 mile per hour right now. That will continue to move towards that northwesterly and then northern movement, and that's the key to our local forecast. We will have the complete update for you and more details coming up at 11 at the top of the hour and also at noon on CBS 47 Action News Jax.